Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how I line this particular style of crochet bag. I had some requests on TikTok on how I do it, so I thought I would make a tutorial. I like to add a pocket in my lining, so I'll also show you how I do that as well. So for this tutorial you'll need some fabric. I use cotton, a pencil, scissors, and an iron. The iron isn't necessarily essential, but it definitely makes things easier. So firstly I start with folding my fabric in half, ensuring that the fold is at the bottom of where the bag will be. Make sure there's enough room at the top for you to be able to fold the fabric under when you attach the lining to the bag. I like to minimize waste as much as possible because fabric's expensive, so I place my bag as close to the edge as possible, but you need to make sure there's enough space for you to do a seam, so we'll get into that more. Since you have the bottom of the bag aligned with the fold, you don't need an allowance there because there won't be a seam there. Now you're going to grab your pencil and trace around your bag, leaving about ½ inch of a seam allowance. Here you can see me doing that. I continue tracing up to the edge of the fabric where the straps are, and then I fold it over, and that's basically what it looks like. So now we're going to grab the scissors and we're going to cut what we just traced out. Here I am placing my bag over what I just cut out, making sure there's enough room around, and now we're going to start the pocket. I am using some scrap fabric that ended up being kind of the perfect size. So here I am folding my fabric in half. It will stay folded, it just kind of makes for a cleaner edge, and I'll go more into that. But I'm going to trace it to the size that I want. You can make it as big as you want, but just make sure there's an allowance around because you will be folding the edges under. Now just cut out what you just traced. So now I'm just going to iron that piece folded together. I'm going to iron the big bag piece as well. Now back to the pocket. I'm going to unfold the pocket and then I'm going to fold under each of the edges inwards, and then I'm going to iron that into place as you can see here. You're going to fold your pocket back in half, and there's your pocket. It's ready to be attached to the lining now. You're now going to attach the pocket onto the inside of the lining. It doesn't matter which side of the lining you put it on, but make sure that the pocket has the nice folded edge facing the top of the bag. You're going to grab your pins and you're going to pin it into place for when you sew it. Put the pocket somewhere in the middle of the lining, and yeah. Now you're going to sew along the edge of where you put your pins. You can either do this by hand or by machine. I like to do it by machine. Once you're done sewing the pocket into place, you're going to fold the lining back over and you're going to sew the sides of the lining together. I'm going to grab my pins again and I'm just going to pin the sides into place. Again, you can sew this by hand or by machine. Once you're done, I like to just place my bag over my lining and kind of make sure that my sewing matches the width of my bag. Now I'm going to open up my bag and start to put my lining in. This is kind of the most tedious part. It can be a little challenging at times, but you just kind of work through it. I start at the sides where the seam is because it's easier to fold over. and then I just pin that into place. Continue folding the lining under until you get up to the corner. Once you get to the corner where the straps are, I just kind of maneuver it in a way where I fold both sides inwards and then I fold the top under. I don't really know how to explain that in a way that makes sense, but hopefully you can see what I mean. I start pinning that into place, and then I continue to fold under the other sides and then pin that into place as well. I generally leave the center valley area, so don't have a seam, until last because it can be a little bit more of a challenge and I do an extra step for that, so I'll explain that once I get to that area. So here we are at the center areas. What I do is I take my scissors and I cut a little bit of a slit into the center, and then I fold it over and then I pin it from there. It can be a bit of a challenge to get it into a place that you like, but you just kind of gotta work with it. So I continue pinning the rest of the bag and I do the exact same thing to the other side. So I'll just show the process of doing the other side as well for a little bit more clarity. Once you're done pinning everything into place the way that you like it, it's time to sew. You're going to sew around where the pins are again, either by hand or by machine. This is me doing it by machine. I have the crochet part facing the bottom so that I can see the fabric as I'm going along. And yeah, I just follow the lining. So that is everything. That's what I do. Hopefully that was helpful. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. If you want me to do other style linings, like how I include a zipper in a bag, let me know and I'll try to get to it.